That's no. You'll have yeah, like I said, I'm gonna send this to you. So we're gonna do a little backtesting walkthrough here. I'm gonna share my desktop with you, and what you're gonna see is my OptionVue program. Okay. What kind of an underline do you want to look at? Do you mind? I'll look at GLD. Yeah, we can do an option on the future. Let me get over there. Um, okay. Just gonna. There we go. Now I'm just clicking on my futures tab to get over to GC here. Where are you? There you are. Okay, so basically what I did is I clicked on the symbol, went into a gold matrix here. But the first thing we want to do when we're backtesting is we're going to go to the info button here, and we are going to start a new account. Okay, I'm just going to name this GC backtest. And I'm not going to check off on any of these here. I'm going to hit OK. Now when do we want to start? We'll go back 1 year. Sure. You can go back to 2001 if you want to. It gets a little tricky when you're doing futures because about 2.5, 3 years ago there was a symbol change, and it's possible to do. It's just a couple extra steps. Okay. So, but we'll start here. And we're going to say, just say we had, I don't know, we'll do small. Just say we had 20,000 to start with. Okay, so now I can go back in time and work off of this account. Okay, which is exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to close this and we'll go back to the quotes display. And I'm going to go to net view at the top here. I'm going to go to BackTrader. And I'm going to just change the date on this. Okay, so what we're looking at here is our BackTrader window. Whenever you're in backtesting mode, you're going to leave this open. The S. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah. So now you see the BackTrader window. Okay, so the S button is going to move you a half an hour in either direction. This would move you half an hour forward, this will move you half an hour back, and this is a day, D. So you're going to move back a day or forward a day. Okay, so when we're doing back testing, we want to store to an existing asset file. Okay, and we'll go ahead and hit start. Now you're going to see all these prices change because it's going to reflect this date and time that we have up here. Okay, so now you see that we're exactly almost a year ago, and now it's going to update these prices for us, and I'll show you where gold was back then. Okay, now it looks like we're looking at, I'm going to have to go in and redefine some of the contracts here, and you do that by going to the define button. Okay, and now it's looking at these wrong dates. So what I'm going to do is go to, actually I'm going to do this. I'm going to close this. Just think of an easier way to do this. Close. I'm going to put in my symbol. It would be October. Let's just put in Z1. This is my up refresh button here. So now you see I put in the correct symbol. The 1 at the end of the futures, everyone knows, represents the year that we're looking at. So 11 would have been 1. So that's what I had to do here. I'm going to go in here. It's going to create a new asset file for me. Actually, let's do this. Close it. Delete the asset file. And I'm going to go back in here. And now we've got some more accurate information. So a little bit of an extra step with futures because of the contract that has to be after the symbol. So like GC, like if we were doing this with GLD or SLV for silver, you wouldn't have to do this extra step. So now we have the correct contracts up here. Okay, these are our futures up here, and then our option contracts down here. So if I click on this December here, it's going to show that we're basing this option prices off of the December futures. Okay. So what kind of spreads do you do, David? Okay. Sure. We'll do I'm not going to really pick any direction or anything like that. I'm just going to show you how you would put some trades on, step through time, and then maybe make an adjustment. Okay. So I'm just going to put a spread on here. So you'd put that on. You'd analyze it. If that's what you wanted to do, you would close it, and then you would go ahead and hit Convert Trade. Okay. What that did is it moved it from the trade field, where we just do our analysis, to an existing position, and by doing that, it created a record of it in our transaction log or our T log. Okay. What you would do in backtesting, you would put a symbol next to this trade, each of these here, and this is called the recon field. And what that means, it's going to link these trades together so that if we take it off, it's going to look at it, the gain loss. It's going to link it together so that it creates a really nice report at the end of our backtesting here. Okay. So we're going to step through time. Let's analyze what we got on here again. Okay. And let's just move forward, a week or so. Okay. Sure, absolutely. So a leap against it. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. So I'm going to go back here. I think it was on the 20th. And I have it on delayed updates. What delayed updates does is, as you can see, I'm bouncing back and forth between times. It delays about 2 seconds so that it knows that, okay, you're still looking for the time you want. Whereas if you go to immediate updates, as soon as I get stop on a time and a date, it'll automatically update. Whereas I could go back to 3 days or so, it's going to say, okay, let's wait a couple seconds, maybe it's going to want to change the time. And then it waits for 2 seconds, and once you're there, then it'll update. So that's kind of a nicer way to do that, is the delayed update, so that you can really zero in without it updating for you automatically. Okay, so let me go to my T-log here. And basically, if you did something you don't want to do, you just go here, left click on the date, delete, delete, okay, it's like it never happened. That's a way to correct something you did. Okay, yep. So now I'm going to go into my define, and I want to look at my auto strike, and I'm going to go out, let's just say I want to go out 11 months. I'm gonna apply, hit OK. Okay, and I'm gonna close this and reopen it, because now that I defined it, I want to open it up again. And I might have to manually put these in. So I'm going to 160. I want to put more. I want more strikes in than that. So I'm going to go into my define button again, and let me go into my auto strike. It's showing me large. And let's see here. It's not giving me my... Oh, I probably got to go out further here. That's the reason. So you can add contracts here. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to the first blank field and I'm entering this, and it's going to give me the next ones out. Just left clicking here. Okay, so now we're about a year out there. So we'll hit OK. Okay. I'm going to close this again and reopen it since I defined that. So it's going to pull in options for all these all the way out here. Now it pulled the futures in me. I got to go in and put the equivalent option contracts in there. And this is good to show you, David, because you're going to have to go in here. You define this stuff as you, when you're doing stuff farther out here. So now I'm going back into the options here, and I'm doing the same thing in this section. I'm going to add a bunch out. Okay. And now we have them here. I'm going to refresh this so that it pulls in data for these new option further out contracts I put in here. Let's see what it's got for us. I might have to close and reopen to pull those in. Yeah, and that's the thing. Now I got to find out why it didn't take my my option contracts. Okay, it's got them here. Let me move back a couple. Let me move to Friday. Oh, it's already doing it for me here. There we go. So we've got June 18. You can see out here what the R means is that there's no last trade. So it's not picking up any data. Maybe they didn't trade that day. These did. So you'll see that you'll get some missing data. When you see the R, it means there wasn't a last trade for it to pick up data on. But we can go out to 218 if we want to, or we could do something out here. But let's say we were, and this is the legend for the futures and actuals. You can see this is the legend here. So this is the last, this is the high, this is the change, and this is the low. So if we wanted to put a position on, we'd put it on up here. So would you say you'd want to be like long? Which futures contract would you think? We're in 2011, yeah, October. Okay, so let's see what the like if you were to buy the future, what future contract would you buy and sell? What leap would you sell against it? We're in October 20th of 2011. Okay, we can pick, let's do December. And we have 406 days left to, this is what these date numbers mean here, how far out we are. Okay, so you'd go long the future contract. So you want to go, you want to sell the future. Right, so how many would you want to go long? Let's just say we're going long one future contract, just for simplicity's sake. Okay, and then you want to write against it in more front months. So let's just say we're going to go, and then you'd roll it, collect the premium on it, and then roll it to the next month. So what you do, we have December contract here. We got 34 days left. Okay, you want to sell calls or you want to sell puts? Okay, we'll sell calls. All right, we'll go. I'm going to higher strike. Yep. Would you want to? That's what I'm thinking. You know, let's just, and we could even put standard deviations on here. By putting this color on, I mean, we've got so many strikes here that we're not even getting out of the first standard deviation here. But I'll take the color off here. And let's just say we're going to sell, you know, 1700 against it. Okay, so we're bringing in 2000. We'll analyze this. Okay. We'd go ahead and convert the trade. I'm going to go ahead and go into my T-log to make sure it's there. Okay. Okay, and what put would you like to buy? Okay, so we took in 24. Let's see, I gotta add some strikes here. Now to add some strikes down at the bottom here, we want to go lower. I'm right clicking on this arrow down button and then going over here to add strikes further down. Now I want to refresh because I've created new strikes. Okay, I'm going to go even further down, and then I'm going to close and reopen just to pull in the data way down here. There we go. It's pulling in more data for you. So we got to go pretty far down. Let me go in and define and just put in some more strikes. There's another way to add strikes if you want to, instead of doing it the way I was just showing you. They don't have to be in order. And we'll get close here. Let's see. Gonna close again to reopen to fill in that data that I just put in down there. Okay, there we go. This looks close. 26. So, and again, I got to put it in the trade field. I'm going to buy a put, you said, right? Okay. Now I'm going to convert the trade. Now what it's doing now, because I have an existing position on, and now I have a potential trade, it's going to show me what the existing it looks like, and then what they're both going to look like together. So this is how you can do some adjustments and say, okay, I would do this because I see what the existing is, and I like the new position I'm going to put on here is going to look like. So I'll go ahead and convert the trade. It moves over to my existing position. I can go into my T-log, and now I can also link this with the other ones with the same symbol. Correct, yep. Okay, so this is what's happened. I'm going to analyze what they look like together. Okay, we're going to close it. And what you would do at this point, if you want to, is you could go into my status button here. Okay, status is going to show you this is my whole portfolio. This is how much my account portfolio has, my buying power, unrealized or realized gains. And then I left click on this here, and I right click, and I can set in a new alert. So you can do this by, say you wanted to have an objective price or an objective price gain, a stop loss percent, and what that'll do, let's say I want to have a percent gain. You can have it send an email to you if you want to, but what you would really do is have it display a message here for our back testing purposes. And then I'm going to go back to my trigger. Oh, absolutely. You could set both up, right. So what you would do is you'd say, I'm looking for just say you're looking for a 10% gain. Okay, so now my new alert is set. Okay, so I can go to, I actually want to leave this open. Okay, you want to leave this status open so that it always checks for these alerts. Okay, and now I'm going to go back into my matrix here. And let me open that up. And I'm going to go to Analyze, and let's see, we're going to move forward here by, let's just say the next day. Okay, and there we go, we got our alert came up. We hit our gain point already. Okay. And there it is. Let's go to yield, annual yield, and you can see here that we're at. You can hover here, and it shows we made 27% with this spread by going the next day. I wish we would have put this trade on back then, huh? This is yield. This is just yield from that day to the next day. We booked the big yeah. Just randomly doing this. So what you would do at this point is say, okay, I hit my target. I would go ahead and go in here, and you put the opposite trade in. So I'm going to put my -1 here. I'm going to put just type in 1 here. Okay, and then I'm going to convert the trade. By putting the opposite trade, I just closed it. Right. Except I left the future on. I left the future on. So now what we could do is we could take our profit, reset how far away from the money we want to be, and put another spread on again. I'm just saying how you would backtest here. So now you go into T-log, it shows our opening and our closing ones. They're all synced here. We hit OK. I look at status. Okay, all we have is a future left. I go to my reports, and now it's looking at this as our first trade. Okay, and it's showing us that we have our first one as a loss for some reason. I don't know why I did that. Because we didn't take the whole trade off, because because the futures were on there. The future was the gain. So I don't like that. I didn't want to do that. Let's go back and fix that. Okay, so I will go back. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go to my info button. Actually, not my info, but my T-log button, and I'm going to delete the closing trades there. Okay, they're right back where they were before. I wouldn't have made that adjustment. Okay. Now the other thing you can do here is I can left click here, and now by analyzing, it's just going to analyze what's right here, and that's where our loss was. Okay. If I close this, unclick this, and click on this, and I do have a position on there. Why does it say no position? Well, you know what the futures contract would look like. It'd be just a straight line going from the lower left up to the upper right. And yeah, correct. Okay. So this is what I was showing you how you would close it, but let's go ahead and move further out in time. Let's go out. We got 33 days in this trade. Let's go to the following Thursday. Showing us our gain loss down here. Okay, and now we're up this amount here. Let's see what our spread is looking like. Okay, the spread's not doing well, but the future is doing really well. Okay, okay, I'm ready. Okay. And you can type this data in a number of different ways. Well, our spread would have expired, and you can, because we had it in December, and you can see it's gonna, what we would have had to do is expired all the options because we moved way past the date where that happened. Okay, but it's going to show, but the future position is still sitting right here. And there's what it looks like. Yep, it's at 24% return since we put it on, and let's look at profit loss is at 22.14 at 10 o'clock on April 25th. I'm going to go back here to our, I think we're in, let's just do 11. What I do, I just want to put a couple trades on and take a couple trades off, even if they're losses or gains, just to show you the process of how it would work. Okay, there's our call. Here's our future. There's our other one. Okay, so let's see what this would look like here. Okay, and I'm going to leave the future on there. We're going to convert this trade. Okay, gonna check on the T log there. It's there. Click on my status. Transaction. I'm gonna click on, there's my status. Now I'm gonna click on my reports. Okay, it shows us as a loss on that spread of that one. Okay, that's all right. We're just doing this for backtesting purposes to demonstrate that. I'm gonna go back into my matrix now. Okay, and let's go ahead and put a different spread on. Let's say we're going to move to January instead of December now. We want to go further out in time. We're going to go out of the money here. The at the money 1760 right now. Let's just say we're going to do a 1790. Whoops. We're going to buy one here. And let's take in more down here. 1790. 53. We're in November 5th. I want to move forward to. Let's go to. We're going to go to Monday the 7th, and this is in November of 2011. Up here in the upper right. Yep. And so I actually don't want to do that one. I want to go further. And I'm going to I want to add some more strikes up here because gold is moving up on us. Okay, I'm going to close it and reopen to pull in that data again. There it is. Okay. And I actually want to add some more strikes, so I'm going to go to define again. I click down here. And let's get way out there. Let's go to 1900. Okay, a little bit more reasonable prices here. So we're going to buy one of these. I'm going to bring in some more credit here, so I'm going to look for something that's about double that. We'll go with the 70. Okay, so now we're pulling in some more money. I like this trade. I'm going to convert it. I'm going to go to my T log to make sure it's there. And now I'm going to put a B here. So that's now knowing that, okay, the A trade is done. It didn't do good. We're going to try this again and go with the next letter in the alphabet there. You can use cap. It moves it from the trade field where we're just analyzing it to see if we want to do it, and then you click convert and it moves it to the existing position and then creates a record of it in the T log, the transaction log. Absolutely. Okay, and now we have this trade on. We can analyze it. Okay, we can analyze it by itself versus just because we still have the future looking at there. We're going to analyze just this trade by itself. That's what it looks like. Okay, Not that it's something we would do, but we're just doing it to demonstrate the back testing. And now we're going to move forward. Let's move forward 2 weeks here. Okay, let's see how it has performed. Looks like gold might have dropped. We're going to analyze the whole position. Close. We're going to analyze just the existing position there. It took a big hit as well. So we want to get out of this. What we would do, it's not demonstrating a winning trade going the other way, but it's demonstrating the how you would back test this. Okay, we put the opposite trade in there. We go to convert trade. Okay, so now we've taken it off. We go to our reports, and now we have one trade that we've done. We have two trades that we've done. We're losing all our capital here real quick. but this is the process you would use. You would go through here, put the whatever trade you want to put on, convert it, step through time. You know, you can go every half an hour. So if you hit a certain return or a certain loss, that's where you would stop, take it off, go look for the next trade, put that one on, and then step forward in time, do the opposite trade, take it down, and then by doing this you're creating a performance analysis. Okay, you'd be creating a graph. You'd be able to create and this is nice too, you can go from this period to this period. It's going to tell you what your total gains and losses were, how many were winners, what the percentage of winners were, percentage of losing ones, averages, largest winning, largest losing. So this will produce a really nice report for you to say, hey, this is the strategy we have for gold and going long the futures and selling options against them. This is the results of our back testing results and incorporating our rules into those that strategy, and you can say this is the result, this is how it turned out. You know, and which is nice. And then once you go to reports again, it's going to list all your trades here. Okay, now all the functionality of OptionVue works in BackTrader, with the exception of OpScan. OpScan is a real-time tool, but what you would do is you could use TradeFinder in BackTrader, and I did actually use TradeFinder. I did a back test in this. I'm going to show it to you now. Basically, what I was doing is I went from when Apple Weekly started back in March of last year, and I went through March of this year on a back test. I was going in on the Thursday before expiration and doing it like a debit spread or something. Everybody was trying to think of different ideas back, you know, when all these weeklies started coming out. So this was my vertical credit Apple Weekly. Let me close out of this so I can show you. I'm just demonstrating the reports it does. But what I did is I would go into TradeFinder on Thursday in BackTrader mode at about 2 in the afternoon. I would do a debit spread, and I would say I want to go into TradeFinder. I want to find that here's Apple. My strategy is just vertical debit spreads. I would base them on on actually best case return. I would put it on regardless of what it said, and take it off the next day. I'd let it expire in the money, or I'd take it off if it was really moving against me. Okay, so what I can do now is this is what my trade log looks like. You can see I ended it. You can see it's always the day before I put the trade on, and I take it off the next day. So this is what my transaction log looked like. You can see when they expired by going. I'm going to go to my status now, and actually not my status but my reports, and this is what it looked like. This is the vertical spreads I was doing all the way. This is my commissions, my gain and loss, and these are each of the trades I did for over the course of a year and a month basically. Okay, and then my performance graph. Okay, my analysis. There are 37 winning trades, 18 losing, largest winning, largest losing, averages. So these are the kind of reports. This type of a thing. So you can see there are probably about 60, 50. I'll double it. So there's probably 100 and some trades in here because I put it on and took it off. But this took me probably about 45 minutes. I did it about 3 times, 3 different ways, and it took me about 45 minutes to an hour each time. You get faster, of course, because you get more familiar with using OptionVue. Yeah. So, and then what you would do is after you did a back test with a certain rules, is you would go ahead and say, okay, now I want to go for a 7% yield grab or a 12% yield grab and roll it and see how it would have performed. So you can make all sorts of adjustments to the parameters of your strategy when you're back testing and quickly go back and see how it would have done versus a comparison against each other. And it's all really printer friendly. So I mean, if, like I said, if I went to my reports here, and you want to print it, you can go ahead and print it. It'll print out a nice page for you. If you want to have different things in here, you can move this around and kind of set it up with what columns you want where and whatnot there as well. So a lot of different ways to use OptionVue, but basically that's what you would do. You just go to Info, start a new account. You can set up what your commissions are, if you and your futures commissions are. If you want to have that in the report, you can set these to 0 if you don't want to as well. If you just want to have a pure modeling without any commissions involved as well. Create a new account. Go up to NetView. Go to BackTrader. Or you can go back as far as January 1st, 2001 if you want to. So, what any questions you have for me? I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, correct. Just navigating through it, and that's gonna come, when you have your trial. I think it's gonna be more when you can have the video playing, you can pause it, go into your option view, and do what they're doing. You're gonna be able to learn it faster that way. I think the biggest thing that's gonna benefit you from this video is watching how I go in and add strikes, add contracts, things like that, because gold has so many strikes out there, and it's pulling in so much data that you're going to be going in there and adding strikes way out of the money in either direction, puts or calls, and then also adding leaps in there as well. So by watching me navigate around the define button, I think in this video is going to help you a lot that you're not going to find when people are backtesting Apple, because it's so easy, because it's just there's not as many futures contracts and there's not as many strikes to have to go add in way out of the money and whatnot. hmm And we'll do this again once you get your OptionVue trial downloaded and you're ready to go and start doing a little bit of back testing yourself. I know you're gonna have more questions, but at least this will be a good start for a reference for you. Absolutely. So if I come across any videos that I think are going to be really good for you, I'll shoot you an email as well. And then you said you're probably going to be ready for the trial in about 2 weeks?